Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CDWS webinar, the trip notification application for beach, boat, and liveaboard safari. So my name is Khaled El Askari. I'm the CDWS membership director, and will join you for the webinar today and give you more information about the trip notification application. Thank you very much for joining. We will start now. So first of all, we're going to talk about the importance and the advantage of the system, the procedures for the trip notification system, the marine units, the boat data or shore activity sites. For the non-professional, the crew and the staff, the boat crew and the staff and the dive club crew and the staff, when they joining the activity, professionals and selection methods, the data of the tourist, boat sharing, the trip sharing system, the procedures to be applied in the event of an emergency or change in the notification in any stages, payment methods for issuing the CDWS electronic trip notification, and the final steps of printing the notification form or the offline one. We're going to talk as well about the technical support and how we can support you technically if there is any circumstances. And finally, we're going to just give you a hint back about the liability and the responsibility. Please make sure that if you have any question on the sidebar, please write your question at any time during the webinar. We're going to collect all these questions as we did last time with the Arabic version. We're going to collect it all together and then we put it in a newsletter and we're going to send it to you all, even Arabic or English, and then it will be the answer for everyone. So we have the video, but this video is
في إطار توجيهات السيد رئيس الجمهورية وتنفيذا لاستراتيجية الدولة للتحول الرقمي وبالتعاون فيما بين وزارة السياحة والآثار وغرفة سياحة الغوص والأنشطة البحرية، نتشرف بإطلاق تطبيق اختار الرحلات البحرية. التطبيق بيسمح لأعضاء الغرفة بملء اختار.
We go forward straight away to the importance and the advantage of the system. So very important that the application allows the member of the CDWS electronically fill the notification form of the safari, the liveaboard, daily boats, diving, snorkeling, submarine, semi-submarine, glass-sided boat, glass-bottom boat, diving and snorkeling activities by the beach. It's an easy steps in according with requirement of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiques, the CDWS, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, and the security authorities concerned with issuing permits for carrying out activities. The system as well enables the members, the CDWS members, to display a database of their trips, include, for example, the numbers of service, professionals, and work team consisting of the boat crew and the facility worker. Also, many statistics can be displayed through the application, such as nationality of the guest, their age groups, as well as a classification of the activity and the most visited dive site for the guest and the activity. For example, when we have a demand on the dive site, we need to know and to raise the awareness and reduce the impact for the underwater marine life. At the early 1990, few operators in Hurghada, Safaga, and as well in Sharm el-Sheikh. They were cooperating together at that time with the VHF radio, for example, and they were cooperating regarding to reduce the noise and reduce the impact. So they were, for example, if an operator going to Ras Mohammed or a couple of operators going to Ras Mohammed, they were always cooperate together that they will not all jump at the same dive site. So for example, one he will jump in Jackfish Alley, the other he jump in Ras Guzlani, Shark and Yolanda Reef, and then they swap together. With the amount of boats now, that's a little bit tricky. And then we need to figure out, and we see this statistics, which dive site is busy and what is the impact from. Other service which might help the facility in carrying out management and marketing business. For example, start planning to participate the international exhibitions and determine priority in the selection of exhibition. For example, if any facility looking for the market, German, whatever the British market, or whatever the market which is they are looking for, they can easily understand from this system what and where the peak season and the amount of how many people joining, and then you can decide which dive fair and dive exhibition you need to join. And as well for the CDWS and for the Ministry of Tourism and Antiques, we need to plan as well earlier this step, and we need to focus which target and where is our target for the nationalities. This is the main page. As you can see now, when you check in by your username as a technical manager or representative for the dive center and activities with the same username and password, you will have exactly this page. So this page have the calendar in the right side, as you can see here. And next to it, you can see the total amount of people joining, how many pros and how many guests and how many crews and how many trips you run. And then you can figure out later on what exactly your plan and what is your marketing plan. The procedures. All facilities shall electronically fill the notification of safari and daily boats of diving, snorkeling, submarine and semi-submarine, glass bottom boat, diving and beach snorkeling upon carrying out any activities. All the certified technical manager can use the application directly by entering the username and password, register on their account in the CWS website through the application link trips.cws.travel. The certified technical manager of more than one facility belonging to the same legal entity can choose the facility from the main list of the application to form a notification in its name according to the business needs determined by the facility. So for example, if we have one facility running, let's say 5-6 liveaboard, so the technical manager can select exactly each boat from the portal and can start fill up all the data. The technical manager of the facility shall fill in all the fields and ensure the accuracy and of the data and introduce the data in English character, please. The technical manager can create up to 3 accounts, and this is very important for the big operators. They can create up to 3 accounts for one or more individual from the work team to help them fill in the data form. The notification through the main menu of the application, bearing in mind that ensuring the corrections and accuracy of the data remains the responsibility of the technical manager and or the company admin of the facility. So it's very, very important, guys, when you give the account and the access to your team, make sure that you have the right person who will fill all the information correctly on the system. We're going to go for the marine units data or shore activity side. An alternative shall be chosen if the activity is carried out by the marine unit or a shore site. As for safari boat liveaboard, they cannot choose to carry out activity via a shore dive. For example, if we have a liveaboard, they will not have this possibility on the system to choose any shore dive for sure. In case of choosing the marine unit, the required custom data shall be filled in. And we're going to see this on the next slide. So as you can see here on the next slide, guys, if I am running a dive center, okay, I will have two options, option for the boat and option for the shore. And then I need to fill up all the information of, for example, if it's boat, the selected registration boat. So if the boat is registered at Hurghada, Safaga, Suez, or whatever, so please, it will be showing up here at the select boat registration number and boat name and boat capacity, the partial date. It will go for the calendar by the partial date and the time. Are we going to go later on for the time? For example, for the people running the business at the shore, and they are hiring different instructor, so they can just select time in and time out, or time dates and time as well, destination, the jetty is out, the jetty is in, and the selected activity side, which is very, very, very important for us, please, to write down what the exact dive site you are heading for. So it is very important, please. And once you are filling this information, the system is take all this information. And when you have another notification later on, you will have this information saved. So once you write, for example, D, you will find the name of the boat comes, A, the numbers of boat registration, and etc. and so on. So for the non-professional, the crew and the staff, which is, they are very important for us. So the non-professional crew and the staff, in case the activity is carried out by the marine units, the data of the boat, the crew presented during carrying out the activity shall be filled in, provided that at least one of them has a valid first aid certificate from one of the organization accredited by the CDWS. Very important, guys, if you have any of the crew members, he is first aid certified, very important to write down his certificate here, the EFR number and the expiry. Very important for us, please. If not, please, you can inform the CDWS that you don't have any of the crew as a certified first aid on board or from the shore. In case as well of carrying out a shore activity, the data of non-professional employees of the center present during the activity shall be filled in, provided that at least one of them has a valid first aid certificate from one of the organization accredited by the CDWS. For example, guys, if we run a dive center from Dahab Nueva, or Taba, and we have many dive sites or sure dive site at this area there. And you're sending always a helper, driver, or whatsoever can help the dive guide and the people. So very important to make sure that they are at least one of them CDWS, or one of them he is a first aid certified. If not, please inform the CDWS that you don't have anybody from the shore. This is what I'm talking to you guys, the IFR, the nationality of the crew, the name. This is the crew, which is, we mean the boat crew or the people run the beach and helping the dive center. If they have CWS number, what the exact job, you will find the list of the exact job here. If not, write other and mention what is the other. Very important, the IFR number if it's available, and the expiry date. Very important that this system will not accept any step until you make save, add, and then you go for the next crew. As well as I mentioned before, once you put any of the crew with their nationality ID, which is contained the 14 numbers, the digit numbers from the Egyptian national ID. Very important, please, as well. It will be saved all the time. The professional and the selection methods. One main guide shall be selected as a professional responsible for the trip. Any other professional carrying out the activity shall be selected. For example, the dive guide with a guest on board for 5 days dive package and the other dive guides run open water diver course, they have to be, please, separated on the list. So if you have combining guests, one is doing open water diver course or any course, and the other is doing, or a group doing packages. So you need to have each dive guide and selected for his main selected professional responsible. Photographer who will be present during carrying out the activity shall be selected in the designed section. It is not allowed to combine working as a photographer and a professional on the same trip. So if you're hiring guys, a diving instructor, he is a camera or a photographer, so he's not allowed to be at the same time instructor, teaching instructor, or guiding, and at the same time he is a photographer. When you choose professional, to the notification, his or her account on the CDWS website should be active. When you select professionals and didn't show, this may be because of several reasons, such as his, her card expire, suspended, and not allowed to work until the suspension period is over. Also, it might be chosen by another facility to take another trip at the same time, etc. So we recommend you, please, coordinating with your professional dive guide before adding them. When the facility chooses to add a professional to the notification form, an automatic email is sent to the professional stating his addition, and the professional has the rights to accept, decline the request by pressing the accept decline button. In case there is any reason preventing them from participating in the trip, the system will be send messages to the facility with a professional declination or accept, so that any other facility can add them. The facility and the professional should be stick to the CWS card and work written on it, please. So as you can see, guys, here at the portal, you will find the main pro. So once you put the CWS number, it's automatically show you that name of the employee, the professional. If it's not showing up here, it's mean there is something you need to discover and you need to understand. This is the point which is we speak about, that you must have one main pro and another pro, and then don't forget to have save the main pro and as well save the adding pro or the video photographer as well. So very important, guys, the data of the tourist, our participant and the people doing the activity. All data related tourists shall be accurately filled in. So it's your responsibility to make sure that all data, which is we're gonna talk later on, to be filled in the application form. Notification forms shall be updated on the system as soon as possible according to the actual reality, whether for numbers, data, activity offer to the guest, other required data. For example, if the guests change their mind on board to have discovery scuba diving instead of to do snorkeling, for example, so we need to make sure that this guest is doing a discovery scuba diving or any activity. This is the most important part of the system. We'd like to get your attention, please, for this part. Uploading guest Excel and downloading the template. So for the people using already the crew list and the manifest, and they already have certain templates, we urge you, please, to download this template, the Excel sheet. And for the people using the Mac and the Google Sheet as well, please download this template, because the system later on will take all the information as a sequence of this template. We explain to you as well clearly on the next slide. Very important, please, the date of birth, selected nationality, passport number, national ID, first name, last name, gender, and the selected activity, and the hotel and the room number, please. Very important, okay? If for big operation and the people having more than one boat or with big operation, you can upload the guest Excel sheet. And very important as well, when you upload the guest Excel sheet, I'll explain to you when the Excel sheet, I will open it now, that nationality, it's one of the importance. Once you put name and first name, last name, and the nationality, if you please make sure from here, you will have, as you can see with me, this is first name, last name, date of birth, nationality. Once you are going to the nationality, you will find this icon. Once you go for this icon, you can select the nationality. So you don't have to write the nationality by yourself. You have to select it from here, because the system will read it correct from the port here. Passport number, activity, accommodation, that's the hotel, room number, responsible passport number, and responsible nationality. This is very important as well, guys. So for the people using a guardian, so the kids, so very important to mention for us what is the number of the responsible passport number, and what is the nationality. And nationality is showing up as well here, as you can see, very clear by this part. So as you can see here, it comes with first name, last name, date of birth, nationality, passport number, activity, and accommodation. Very important, guys, please, to have all this information clear. It will help you and it will help us as well. The boat sharing, the trip sharing on the system. For the boat sharing and trip sharing of the system, the dive center can share a boat trip with another diving or water sports center, snorkeling service provider. Also, water sports center, snorkeling service provider can share a boat trip with another water sports center, snorkeling service providers. In case there is a small number of the guests on board the boat to carry out the daily trips, the facility can share with other facilities, provided that they are licensed by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiques and member of the CDWS, by adding its professional and the guest on the same notification form to responsible for implementing the established standards and technical requirements. In this case, the notification is issued in the name of the main establishment that will obtain the permission to carry out the activity from concerning authority. For example, I have a dive center, let's say a dive center, and I have my colleagues is B, C, D, and they would like to share with me the boat or my boat. So I can click on the sharing part, and then I will put all the mandatory information, their guests and their professional joining me on the boat. Applicable procedures in case the system does not work or there is no internet connection, form for temporary offline notification. The application permits update the trip data, whether it's online or offline. The trip notification application is compatible with mobile phones. The facility, in case there was no internet connection, can use a notification temporarily unified form according to the attached form. It must be written on the computer and not manually, please, and follow the procedures for obtaining a permit to carry out activity from the concerning authority, considering to do this through the following link, trips.cws.travel. The form can be uploaded as an Excel file or photocopied after printing for uploading. The facility shall fill out the notification once connected to the internet according to the temporary offline notification form previously submitted, bearing in mind that the facility has a grace period of up to 24 hours after getting back online to fill out the notification. The user can have shortcut for the application on the mobile phone by pressing the download button appearing next to the page link. So very important, as I mentioned before, allow sharing. And once you allow sharing, it comes with the mandatory number of guests, member, and member CWS number. The member's CWS number, this is for the dive operator or a snorkeling. And then the member name, it's showing up here. And you need to make sure that when you're adding any member, he's an active member by the Ministry of Tourism and Antique and the CWS as well. In case of the procedures to be applied in case of the system does not work or there is no internet, the unified form for an offline temporary notification. The application procedures in case of the system doesn't work or there is no internet connection. Unified form for a temporary offline notification. The application permits update the trip data, whether it's online or offline. The trip notification application is compatible with mobile phone. The facility, in case there was no internet connection, can use the notification temporary unified form according to the attached form. It must be written on the computer, not manually, as we mentioned before, and following the procedures. So when you make a shortcut, it comes like this at your computer, laptop, desktop, and as well, it comes by the mobile phone, as you can see here, and then you have create. The procedures to be applied in the event of an emergency or change in notification in any stages. In case of the emergency changes in notification data before the starting of the activity, for example, change in the data crew, the tourist, professional boats, the technical manager can modify the notification by one of the following alternatives. Electronically, only if not more than 2 hours pass since the start of the activity record on the application by the facility. Manually modify the data in accordance with change on a printed notification, then photocopying and submitting it to the electronic notification application only if not more than 2 hours pass from the time of the beginning of the activity recorded on the application by the facility. Then this electronic notification should be modify later at the end of the day and before 24 hours pass from uploading the photocopy of the amendment. Very important, guys, please, for this part, in case of in the morning, you find that one of the crew or the professional will not be able to join and you need to change the name of the crew or the boat itself if the boat is have any problem in the likely event. So if you please, you can easily change it electronically if you give any one of your dive operator and assistant at the office to do it electronically. If it's manually, you can do it manually and you have 24 hours to change this, but you need to do all this within 2 hours since the boat or the activity is started, please. This is updating trip notification, how it looks on the desktop, laptop. And here it's how it looks at your mobile phone. You can edit itself. So it's very easy and very compatible with phone. And then you can just take a screenshot and you can choose the file and upload the file immediately. This is the form. You can download it. If you can't, please, you can email us and then we're going to send it to you in Excel sheet. This is the offline form. You can fill up all the data automatically, and then you can upload it. Then later on, within 2 hours, then later on, you have 24 hours period to update the data on the system. The payment methods for issuing the CDWS electronic trip notification. At this moment, the trip notification is on the trial. We're gonna start to use it at 1st of December. So you have nearly 1 month for you and for your team to have a trial, and please use it now. We urge you to use it now. And then if there is any problem or anything, you can contact us so we can just help you and support you. The final step of printing the notification through the online notification, a unified form, or through the offline temporary notification form, in case there was no internet connection. The facility is responsible to implement the instructions of the authority designated to issue permits for carrying out activity according to the geographical area the facility is located in order to obtain permission to carry out the activity. For example, if you are running from Hurghada or from Safaga or from Sharm el-Sheikh, so you need to follow the authority permission and the authority design issues. Here, it's the final step. Once you put all the data, you will have barcode. So if you scan this barcode, you will find name of your dive center. And here you will find their logo, which is saved on our CDWS database, name of the boat and everything, and name of the crew, and the pros, and the guest list. Down here, you will find the total of the guests and what is, if they done recreational diving, technical diving, free diving, or whatsoever, snorkeling, and how many the issue, how many total guests, and total pros on board. Very important to stamp and to sign here on the form, please. This is the second page or the last page, which is contain the same here and with liability rules. For sure, it's the liability in Arabic as the regulation. But if you have any colleague, he can translate it. So if you please, we urge you to translate it and read it carefully. The technical support and communication with the CDWS. You can communicate with the CDWS through the facility technical manager. They are one of the alternative show in the technical support category in the application main menu. So if you please, if you have any technical issues, please email us at support@CWS, and our team is doing a brilliant job now, and they can respond fast with you. If you have anything as well urgent, don't hesitate to contact one of the the team of the member in Hurghada or Red Sea or in South Sinai and Sharm el-Sheikh. This is the liability, how it looks. We already translated for you. So in case of somebody need to read it, so feel free, please, to read it now. So as a technical manager, regarding the data mentioned in the notification above, and claim full responsibility before concerning authority, and this may acknowledge of that. In all cases, a printed copy of the notification must be kept on board the marine unit or at the shore site while carrying out the activity. The according and the correction of the data are responsible of the technical manager and or the company admin of the facility. All essential data must be accurate and properly filled in, and each page of the notification must be signed and stamped. all data related to workers shall be completed whether professional or crew are filled accurately. At least one of the non-professional worker with a valid first aid certificate shall be presented during carrying out the activity, whether through water unit or on the beach. The safe supervision, the ratio is very important to make sure that you have the right ratio. In the event there were a minor or child on board, their guardian or supervisor, if any, shall be specified on the notification during carrying out the activity. In case it is proven that the notification does not match reality during the sudden inspection campaign, the facility and technical manager will be subject to penalties for canceling the license in accordance with the rules and clause article 33 of the ministerial decrees. So thank you very much for listening. We will now go for a real demonstration in front of you. Then, if you please, we urge you, if you have any question, just write it down on the sidebar by the CWS team. Thank you for listening. So from here, guys, I'm going to demonstrate quickly. So I have, for example, the two options of the My Center, the trip notification, the shared trip notification, the user, if you need to add any user, and if you run Liveaboard, the Safari, the trip notification, and the user as well. So if you go for the trip notification quickly here, it takes you to add new notification. So if you go to the new notification, we can just select one of the selected registration port. If I'm selecting Suez and the registration number, it's automatically showing up in front of me, and the name of the boat and the capacity, let's say, is 30. Here, guys, if I'm running the operation for tomorrow, I will select tomorrow. I'm planning to go at 9:00 a.m. and return by tomorrow by 4 afternoon. We urge you as well to give a buffer time. So if you go and you back by 4, just put it 4:30 or something in case of there is any delay. So if I'm going to Cecil Gore from Sharm Jetty and it's Sharm back, and then select the activity. Once you select the activity, this is the dive site. So once you write the first letters, you're gonna go for Cecil Gore. If you plan to do, let's say, the third dive at Ras Ghazlani, so you can do it like that, and then you have this select. So the national, the crew, so the national ID, it's start by the 14 numbers of the crew. So if it's like that, it will comes with the name of the crew and let's say his number, doesn't matter, and he is the boat skipper. If he has EFR, we can write it down. If not, we can just skip it and save and go for. If you need to add more crew, so you can add from here more crew, and then we can go for uploading the guest data. So for example, if I'm uploading guest, which is and the passport number, for example, whatever it's And the select activity, it's showing up in front of you here, guys, the recreational diver, the technical manager, safari, glass boat, or whatever. So let's say that this man is going with his family, and this is, and then don't forget to save. If you are in big operation, you can upload it immediately and it will show up here. I'm just demonstrate quickly. So if I'm uploading and have, let's say, one young with this guest or minor, so we can write all the information. And then so here he will ask you to go for the select responsibility or the responsible. So this is the responsible as the only one. And then you can go for next. And then you can just write here the number of the pro. Once you write the number of the pro, it's showing up in front of you that his name, and then you can select as it is. If you go for the other pro or photographer or whatever, and please, you can just write agree terms and condition, and you go forward. So now you have the trip notification and it's written in front of you. So all the information in front of you here, as we mentioned. So the total recreational is 1, the 1-to-1, 1 guest. And so if you go for print, it's come to you down here for download. If you go for download, you can easily download this file. And now you have the trip notification. You can just stamp it, sign it, and then you can start enjoy and go for your trip. So in case of any questions or anything you need to ask, please don't hesitate to contact the CWS team. Thank you again for listening, and we wish you a lovely evening. Thank you very much.